So this is the 14th session of Dedicated Disciples, and I will request Chandrani today to start to chant the peace mantra.
Thank you, Jumadi. Pranam Maharaj. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shang No Mitra Shang Varunaha Shang No Bhavattar Jama Shang No Indro Brihaspatihi Shang No Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.
Thank you, Chandrani. And Maharaj, over to you now, please.
Yes. As usual, let us begin with our Guru Pranam. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Hari Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. A very warm greetings to every one of you on this day. As in the introduction, Juma was telling, it seems as if a long time has passed since we met last. Yes, we met 2 months back. In these 2 months, we missed 4 classes. It was not my intention to miss any class. Of course, I also take a lot of interest in making this class happen. But suddenly, I had a small setback in health. I had a giddiness, which is called vertigo in the medical language. And I consulted Dr. Nandini. She immediately took action and she put me to the right, a healthy path now. So under her treatment, I'm now recovered well, I should say. And that's why 2 weeks she wanted me a complete rest without any class also. That's why in the last month itself, I was much better. I could have taken some class, but any class, would disturb the balance in the years. So they said, okay. So after having thorough rest in these 2 months, we are resuming our class. As you all know, the Tat Padam class, every Sunday it has got a class. And my term or my turn in this Tat Padam class is 2nd Sunday and 4th Sunday. Today being the 2nd Sunday of the month, so we are meeting. So on 2nd Sundays, we generally talk about the dedicated disciples. That is the title. Now, on the 4th Sunday, we talk about we read a book called For Seekers of God, the teachings of Mahapurush Maharaj. So these 2 classes are, by nature, they are different in their approach. The dedicated disciples, I do not call everyone as whom I am going to talk in this series was initiated into Mantra Diksha by Sri Ramakrishna, not necessarily. For instance, we started with Rani Rashmani. She was not a disciple in the actual term that you think of as disciple, but she was a great admirer of Sri Ramakrishna and she had great devotion to Sri Ramakrishna. So, a disciple's devotion towards the Guru, that can be gauged by all of us to some extent. What is the type of devotion, the love for the Guru can be? And if you can show to somebody, you can consider yourself as a disciple. For instance, we all think like that. We have got a Guru and we have got a Parama Guru, then we have got a Parapara Guru, then we have got a Parameshwari Guru. So 4 types of Guru Pranams we generally do every day. Those who are initiated into the Ramakrishna tradition, they know they have to think of the Parampara, the Guru Parampara, from which they have derived their power of spirituality. Where is this power of spirituality residing? It is residing in the mantra given by the Guru. So when the Guru gives you a mantra, that mantra carries the potentiality of the Shakti of the Parampara, the previous Gurus. So that's why we think of all these 4 stages of Gurus in our life, and we make pranam, and then we start our japa. So by doing this japam, which is a mantra that he has given us, so we consider him as Guru. But is there anyone who can influence your life to that extent? So you may not call the technical term Guru for him. What you can call him? You can call him Upaguru. For instance, I call Swami Gahananandji Maharaj as my Upaguru. Why? Because after my Guru's passing away physically, then he became my instructor in my spiritual life. Any spiritual problems, I would approach him. So that person can be considered as Guru and can be considered as a disciple. So in that broad meaning, I have brought all these people under as the disciples, and they were all dedicated in the love of Sri Ramakrishna. Hence, we call them, that all of them, as disciples. Now, that this a biographical sketch is what's supposed to be discussed. But then, I have been telling you from the first class onwards, we are not interested which year, which date they were born, and which date they met Sri Ramakrishna, or what happened to them, and who are his parents, etc. Though they are all biographical details are very necessary to understand a person, but we are not concentrating on those aspects of the life. What I am trying to think for myself is, if I take up a particular disciple's life, say for instance today, we are going to talk about Devendra Nath Majumdar. So he is one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Like that I am taking it. So he was a householder devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. So now this Devendra Nath Majumdar, his biographical details are there in the book. When you want to know about the details, you can go to the book, God lived with them, they lived with God. Those 2 books are always there. So you can definitely read those books and try to understand. But what I am trying to say within the 45 minutes that we have with me, what we have to do is, how is that life, the life of Devendra Nath Majumdar, is going to have effect upon our spiritual life? Why this question comes? Because we are separated from Devendra Nath Majumdar nearly 100 years. And 100 years of difference is there. So that's why we think that we should, is there any usefulness in studying a older life, in the older style, in the older regime, whatever life was there? Will there be anything pertinent to our present day modern life? Is what I am going to search for in this talk. So if you want the biological details, please go and refer to the book. So let me take up this life today, Devendra Nath Majumdar. So he was one of the householder disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. The problem in our spiritual life is that we are obstructed by certain factors. Say, for instance, if you have a guru and you have got a mantra diksha and you start pursuing your spiritual life, whatever as the guru has instructed you, do you think the life will be all bed of roses? No. There will be hundreds of obstructions that will be coming upon you. The obstructions are different types. So before you think that how to categorize these obstructions, what could be the obstructions, etc., we all know that. Many of the obstructions we do know, but to make a list, have you ever tried to make a list of the obstructions that come up? Say, for instance, tomorrow I go and sit in the meditation. And then at that time, I am unable to meditate properly. What was the obstructions? What was the obstruction at that very time? Did I note it down? No. Suppose I go to a temple, I stand before the deity. When the arati is being waved, I am looking at the deity. At that time, my mind is not set on the deity. What was the obstruction? Did I note it down? No. So many times we face the obstructions and then we do not note it down. In the result, we ourselves are not aware what type of obstructions are there or what type of obstructions I have already experienced or what type of obstructions that I have not experienced but may come in the future. So it is necessary to know what are the obstructions in your spiritual life. For that, we refer to the great Rishi Patanjali, who wrote the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So in the Yoga Sutra 1.30, just note it down. Later you can go into details of studying that. 1.30 in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In Raja Yoga book also Swamiji says, he gives you 10 types of obstructions. He makes a list. That is the beauty of our ancient rishis, They give you a list. So it is very easy for us now to understand. So what does he say? He starts with, the sutra starts like this. Vyadi, Pyana, Samshaya. And then he says, Pramada, Alasya, Avirati, Bhranti Darshana, Alabdha, Bhumikatva, then Anavastitva, Chitta Vikshepa, Te Antaryaha. Like that he says. Antaryaha means, Antaraya means there are obstructions in plural. So, Antar means obstruction. So, Antaraya is plural, obstructions. How many obstructions he says, you see? The first itself starts with Vyadi. What a terrible thing. Those who have got physical disease, they know how it is very difficult to undertake any spiritual discipline. If you are lying down or in a hospital, lying down in a bed, how much difficult it is to think of God, because mind is fully focused on the body's recovery. So it is not thinking of God. So Vyadi is the biggest obstruction. So he puts it as first. And the second is Sthana, the dullness. The mind becomes dull. It is unable to grasp. And third is Samshaya, the doubt. Of these 10 obstructions, the third obstruction, doubt, is there for all of us. Can you tell one person who has not doubted in his spiritual path in the beginning? You find out the Samshaya is a very big thing. It's not a small obstruction, I tell you. We all have faced somehow or other this Samshaya coming into our mind. Did not even Naren has Samshaya, as a doubt about Sri Ramakrishna's validity as an Avatara Purusha. Finally, that was removed by his Guru, that Samshaya was removed. So any time that you get Samshaya, the Samshaya, if you allow it to grow, then it grows on. And it grows to become such a huge Rakshasa form it takes. And then to remove that Rakshasa is a demon. To kill the demon, you require a mighty weapon. So that's why Swami Vivekananda says how this Samshaya is terrific thing. He says, just a minute. Yes. He says in that Ramakrishna Stotra, which we are very fond of, that Achandalo Pratihitarayo, in the shloka, is that he says that Samshaya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram. He says, Astram is weapon, you all know. Why a weapon is to be kept in our hand? So we all keep knives in the kitchen. The kitchen knife helps us to cut, say, big potatoes come. We cut into smaller pieces so that we can easily eat and digest also. So the knife is required to cut the potatoes. But if any harm is coming to you physically, at that time, your two hands are not enough to protect yourself, what you have to do? You have to use some weapon. So astram, one weapon has to be there. And if a small astram is okay for a smaller obstruction, but if it is like a rakshasa, if it's like a demon, he's standing before me and I am so puny creature, I cannot fight with him. So what I can do? I can take just one astram. What is that? A mighty weapon. Maha astram. Samshaya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram. What is that Mahastram? Yami Gurum Sharanam Prapadye. To that Guru, I take refuge in. He says that is called, that Mahastram has to be used when the Samshaya Rakshasa grows. In Devendra Nath Tagore, Tagore is nothing, nowhere is related to Rabindranath Tagore, but Devendra Nath Majumdar is. So this Devendra Nath Majumdar, at his young age, he was quite a good person, a noble person. He comes from the noble family. From the way in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, whenever you see when Devendra Nath enters, Yam writes, Devan has come inside. At that time, you must see the behavior pattern of Sri Ramakrishna. We generally read with all devotion the Gospel. We don't actually study it in the way that we have to study Sri Ramakrishna's personality, unless somebody tells us. Now I am telling you this idea that when Devan comes inside, what is the reaction of Ramakrishna? When Narayan comes inside the room, what is the reaction of Ramakrishna? How does he behave with those people? When Yam comes there, how does he behave with him? Like that when Brahma Samaj leader Keshav Sen comes inside, how does he behave? His behavioral patterns are entirely different from each other. Every person has got different types of behavior. So when Devendra Nath used to come to him, he used to treat him as a citizen of elite, of a highly endowed person of the society, important man of the society, how he should be treated. You see, every person in the society has got some importance, and that importance should be never be broken. Each one has got a self-image in the society, and the self-image should not be broken before others. So sometimes in the jocular vein, Sri Ramakrishna has made fun of people, and we all even laugh while reading. Now also we make laughter. But then he would never put him in such a fashion that he would be absolutely out of his touch. So people have seen when Devendranath comes, how he says. He says, Naren and Latu, are they not serving you? So let me carry your koto, that is your pot with me when you go to toilet. So he carries it. Ramakrishna said, no, that is not for you. He prevents it. So no, that those type of seva you don't need to do. Then what he should do? He says, you should think of the gopi bhava towards Lord. Think yourself as a gopi and make that gopi bhava, which is called madhura bhava, with your ishta devata. As every gopi used to have that love for ishta devata. So how did they express their love to Sri Krishna? Was it physical? That we see sometimes some of the Puranas give the stories of gopis, Sri Krishna's play with the gopis. So Swami Vivekananda warns us, don't read all those passages unless you are mentally pure. Make yourself first mentally pure. Let the purity be your second nature. Then you read Gopika Geetam. Then you will understand the worth of Gopi's love. The Gopi's love is not an ordinary kind of love. It is highly ecstatic love of God, which in Sanskrit, the word used is prema. So, prema is not merely a pyar. That you must understand. So, the prema is an ecstatic love for God. So, what happens in ecstatic love of God? To Devendranath, Sri Ramakrishna says, the prema, have you acquired the prema towards God? Try to acquire that. In that prema, what you do is you practically forget that. Said that paragraph I'm reading from the book, how Sri Ramakrishna puts it beautifully. When Devendra finished eating, the master began to talk about divine love. That is the prema. He said, do you know what prema is? That is, ecstatic love of God is. When one has prema, one forgets the world. That's what happened in Gopi's case. So merely gopis are dancing with Krishna and seeing some dance program. You should not think that was what all about gopis' love. No. They forget the world. One forgets the world. And then what the second stage? They forget even one's own body, which is so dear to a person. My body is dear to me. And that body is also forgotten. As in a dust storm, one cannot distinguish the trees and the houses from the upper view. You see that no house is distinctly visible, no tree is distinctly visible in the dust storm. Andi. In northern India, we generally get Andi during the summer start. In Kanpur, I have experienced 5 years I have seen Andi. And whenever I used to go to Delhi, I have experienced Andi. So when in Ranchi also, we used to get Andi. When Andi comes from the distance, you can see black cloud, utterly black clouds, as if it is going to downpour. No pouring, no water. Only the dust comes. And the dust sweeps everything. There you can't feel any difference. And he says, like that, at the dawn of divine love, all ideas of distinction vanish. So Devendra thinks, I have never heard such a thing before. This happened in 1884. He was born in 1844. At the age of 40 years, he is listening a thought which is coming from Sri Ramakrishna's mouth. And that thought he has never heard anywhere. The dust storm example. You see, what a wonderful. Like that, many ideas that Sri Ramakrishna brought out have not been heard by many people. Devendra Nath also is a little lesser being than our Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar, who is considered the ocean of knowledge, he himself says, oh, this is the first time I hear from you, sir. Like that he says. He has never heard that. So many unheard of things have been brought out in the mouth of Sri Ramakrishna. Is it not divine? Yes. So he says, and he sat enchanted, absorbing every word the master said. That was the condition of this prema, this love for God is what we are going to learn from Devendra Nath. And seeing the gopis' love in him, Swamiji, later on when he became Swami Vivekananda, he used to call Devendra Nath as Sakhi. Where is my Sakhi? He used to call him. Sakhi means, you all know, a female friend. So Sakha is male friend, Sakhi is female friend. So he used to call, where is Sakhi? Where has she gone? Like that he used to call him. And then Devendra used to come before him. And then he would talk to him about that. So that Sakhi's love for God, that is how that he says that Swamiji also loved this person, Devendra Nath. Now, Devendra Nath had a doubt. As I told you, the doubt becomes a Rakshasa, then you require Mahastram. That is Guru Kripa. Unless Guru Kripa comes, you cannot understand. One day he went to theatre, a star theatre, where Sri Ramakrishna and Latu and Ramchandra Datto all have come together. On that day, Girish Ghosh was fully drunk. We all know Girish Ghosh's life. He was a drunkard. And he had so many other bad qualities also. With all that, on that day, because he was drunk, and perhaps he could not understand who has come, or he understood something and then only willingly he did, or nobody knows. But Latu was stunned to see the behavior of Girish towards Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna came inside. Instead of being welcomed and then taken him to the seat, Girish abused him left and right. As we use the term in India, left and right means in all ways. So in other countries, this phrase is not used. So the left and right abused him. And this abuser, hearing those words, Lottu could not stand. Lottu went almost to beat Girish Ghosh. Girish Ghosh was elderly person and Lottu was a young boy. And Lottu had full of strength, physical stamina. He could have beaten him also. At that time, Ramchandra Datta only came between them and stopped Lottu. Don't beat him, don't beat him. Ramchandra Datta could know something of Girish. So and Ramakrishna, of course, he didn't mind at all. He was there enjoying the drama as if nothing has happened. Even the Girish Ghosh drama also he enjoyed, and the drama enacted by Girish Ghosh in front of him, that also he enjoyed. He had nothing. And Devendra was there looking at that. Next day, Devendra went to Girish Ghosh's house. So Girish Ghosh welcomed him. At that time, Girish was in normal mood, not drunk. And he said, Devendra, what happened? Because they were friends, you see. So he has seen Girish Ghosh was actually close friend of his elder brother Surendra. So Surendra and Girish Ghosh used to sit together and discuss philosophical matters. Girish Ghosh was a great learned person, mind you. That's why he could write so much of dramas. And both of them, Surendra, his elder brother, and Girish Ghosh used to discuss philosophical matters, which Devendra used to sit and listen as a younger brother. So on that day, he went to his home and said, Girish Dada, you have done a big mistake. Yesterday in the theater, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came and you abused him in such a way, it hurt everyone who are all with you. Why did you do that? Then Girish says, does he not know that what I am going through? Does he not know? He is said to be an Avatara Purusha. So he must know everything. For the last 3 days, I have not drunk even a drop of water because I am angry with him. He has not attended to me. You see, today also I am not going to eat anything. And I shall continue this anshan, we say in Hindi. Anshan means fasting. So this fasting I am going to do unless he comes to me. And then why should I seek apology? The abusal that I did, is it not that quality given by him only to me? He has bestowed upon me, like a Kali, Kali Sarpa, when Krishna told him, don't spit venom on the world is getting upset. He said, the venom is it my own creation? Did you not put that venom in me? That's what I am giving out, whatever you have given. In the same way, Girish told this. And will he come and see me? Like that, he shouted at Devendra Nath. Devendra Nath was stunned, silenced. He has got nothing to say. It was about 4 p.m. and torrential rain at the time. And there was a knock at the door. Girish goes and opens and is stunned to see Sri Ramakrishna standing there. And he enters in his room as if nothing has happened the previous day. So, Devendra Nath says, this one incident created a great faith in me. I doubted Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, is he a Paramahamsa? Because in 1884, he went to see a friend and the friend was not there at the home. So he was seated by his wife, sit there and take some tea or something, don't worry. At that time he was sitting, he found a book there on the table. It was about the great saints of Vaishnavas. That book he just went through. There at one place, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Yukti, like that's the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. Either one paragraph was there. He read that paragraph. First time he read about the difference between God with form and God without form. He has discussed about that. Many people criticizing God with form. Some people are unable to grasp the idea of God without form. All this confusion was there in him, but he never had an understanding what is the difference between God with form and God without form. That teaching was mentioned in that book. He was stunned. He said, how wonderful. My friend is not here. Otherwise, I would have been wasting my time with him talking about silly things. And I took this book and read it. And such a wonderful message, I got it today. Who is this Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? It was in 1884, mind you. And in 1886, Sri Ramakrishna is going to have Mahasamadhi. Just 2 years' time only he had to spend with Sri Ramakrishna. That life was a blessed life. After meeting Sri Ramakrishna, immediately thought, I am searching for a guru. I am not getting any guru. Let me go and meet this person. So he goes there and then he meets him. And then first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna, you will find Devendra Nath's first meeting, how Sri Ramakrishna very cordially invited him into the room, made him sit there. Even he told him, you have come from the northern veranda door. You have kept your sandals there. Sandals seem to be new one and somebody will steal them. So bring the sandal this side and keep it. See, Ramakrishna study. He thought, I have gone to a Paramahamsa who is supposed to be not aware of all these simple things, but he is aware of my entrance of the door. Also, my sandals are kept somewhere. That also he has noted. What a Paramahamsa is. So he comes inside and sits with him. And then the continues is going on. But his doubt about Paramahamsa comes now and then. So here, his doubt was removed when Sri Ramakrishna appeared in Girish Ghosh. In another time, Sri Ramakrishna was talking to him. When he came to Dakshineswar, as usual, Sri Ramakrishna welcomed him, made him seated on his own cot, where he sits. Very rarely he would allow people to sit on that cot, because he sits there. And generally, not even Narayan was allowed like that. Baburam Maharaj was allowed like that. A few only. Brahmananji sat there, but not any devotee. Even Yam was not allowed to sit. But Devendra was allowed to sit there. And sitting next to him, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, Ore Latu, bring some sweets. The sweets has been sent by a woman, he says. Ekjon Mahila Bhakto Patiyase. So Mahila Bhakto, a woman devotee has sent this. And what is there? Many people bring sweets to Sri Ramakrishna. And what is there to tell that specifically a woman devotee like that? So this is the doubt just sprouted in the mind of Devendra Nath. Why he is talking about this woman? Then he is telling to Devendra Nath, look, this woman devotee, I love her so much. Finished. The doubt started, the sprouted doubt started becoming bigger. I love her so much. I'm thinking always about her. Like that he says. He's not telling who is a devotee. Only he's telling that woman. Only hearing that, Devendra, of course he was a married person, he got a doubt. Sri Ramakrishna, though he is said to be a Paramahamsa, still has got attachment to his woman. So who is that woman? That is the question that came upon him. And the doubt is also increasing in size. And he says, Devendra, it is good that you have come today. Give to Latu 1 rupee. For what? We have to go by boat to see that woman, he says. And he's telling Devendra, come with me. So Devendra had to take out his purse and give 1 rupee note to Latu. That boat charges for going to Calcutta. And they all went together. All the 4 people got into the boat and reached one house. Devendra did not know whose house it was. It's a very interesting incident, and his doubt is increasing. And when all of them were seated on the front room, in the Bengal, in the ancient Bengal, in those days, the men cannot enter the Antapura. That is inside women where stay. The men sit in the lounge only, where the reception place. There only they have to sit. They cannot go inside the house. But the moment they all entered the house, all are seated, Sri Ramakrishna got up and straight away he went inside. And turning to Devendra Nath, he says, I'm going to see that woman. So further, doubt has increased so much. And Devendra Nath could not contain. Who is that woman? So much he is fallen in love. A Paramahamsa is so much of love he is showing to this woman, and so he was waiting for them. And after some time, all were invited inside. And he went there. Devendra sees in that room several young women were sitting. Several, whom he do not know, whom Sri Ramakrishna has got attention, he doesn't know, but several. And there was an elderly lady, about 90-year-old lady also, was sitting there. And Sri Ramakrishna is holding her hand and touching and speaking to her. She was the mother of that Jadu Malik. Jadu Malik had a big bungalow in Calcutta also. So there Maharaj has gone. So you see, and he's telling, looking at Devendra, he's telling, see, this is the woman I was talking to. Come and bow down to her. Like that he says. So Devendra went and touched her feet, as is the Bengali custom of touching the feet. So that's how you see the demon of doubt can grow any big, but you require a mighty weapon, and the mighty weapon is Guru's grace. If the Guru is gracious to you, he can remove all your sandeha, all your samshaya. All the samshaya will go in. In Gita itself, the samshaya word has been spoken many places. You know, there are several chapters are there. You can find out later what are the places the samshaya word comes. And every time Sri Krishna speaks about this doubt arising in the spiritual path, he says, cut it with the knife, he says. He doesn't use any other word. He also used the word astram. That astra is required, weapon is required. With the weapon you cut off. The chindanti says, shamshaya chindanti, that you cut it off into two, split it with a weapon, he says. That's why Swamiji also has used the word mahastram, the weapon for samshaya. So this samshaya is very terrible thing. Actually, philosophically, philosophers say that doubt is the first requisition for getting clarification in your mind. Suppose you don't get any doubt. The ideas will be there, undigested within you. So when the doubt comes, you get clarification. So the doubt is actually a helper in the spiritual life. Some philosophers have said that also. But then the doubt should not be such that it goes on increasing and it becomes an obstruction in understanding with the relationship with your Ishta. That's why it's very important that how the doubts of Devendra Nath was dispelled by Sri Ramakrishna. So then Devendra Nath, of course, lived for about 20 years, and to the credit of Devendra Nath, Devendra Nath wanted to have initiation. He did not give initiation. One day Devendra Nath took a lot of garlands and flowers to Dakshineswar and made at his feet, and then he says, sir, give me mantra diksha. He said, I don't give mantras. You take all these gardens and give it to Mother Kali in the temple. He should have understood what it was. But at that time, he couldn't grasp it. Anyway, Sri Ramakrishna refused those garlands, and the garlands were sent to Mother Kali's temple. Later on, next day or so, when he came, he called him nearby, asked him to open his mouth, and wrote something on his tongue. So, in Sri Ramakrishna's disciples' life, there are a few blessed souls, householder disciples, married, have children, have house, everything. And they, some of them, have got this blessing of touched by Sri Ramakrishna, where he touched on the tongue. Holding the tongue, he wrote something by his hand. There are a few lives of the devotees you can definitely find out. I think Satani has got a list of devotees who have got such type of initiation from Sri Ramakrishna. So you see that wonderful, very rare item of a gift by Sri Ramakrishna was given to him. So how he became, after the passing of Sri Ramakrishna, he became a guru on his own right. He used to give diksha to others. And he developed a group of devotees around him. And he started an organization 2 years before Swamiji's passing away called Sri Ramakrishna Archanalaya. Archanalaya. Archana means worship. So Archanalaya, in the name he started, and people started gathering, and they used to only sing and sing and sing the name of Sri Ramakrishna. And not only that, he was a man who wrote a lot of hymns on Sri Ramakrishna in Sanskrit and songs in Bengali. One of the very famous songs that you all know. Anybody can say what was that famous stotra that he wrote on Sri Ramakrishna?
Bhavasagar?
Yes, Bhavasagar. Thank you. Thank you, Pranam. Bhavasagara Tarana Karana He. A very beautiful Sanskrit, or you can say in Bangla also it is same. Sanskrit, Bangla, not much difference, except in the verb. Ravi Nandana Bandhana Khandana He. How beautifully he starts. He says, Hey Ramakrishna, hey Gurudev. He doesn't even address him by name. He only says Gurudev. Hey Gurudev, Daya Karo Dina Jane. I am a humble person. Please bestow me your grace upon me. Like that is praise. And who are you, this Gurudev? Gurudev, Gurudev, you are telling. Who is this Gurudev? This Gurudev take you across the ocean of samsara. Bhavasagara. What a wonderful term it is. Bhavasagara Tarana Karana. That means who is the cause of crossing this Bhavasagara. The ocean of Bhava means birth. You know that. So second line, opposite to birth is death. He brings it. Ravi Nandana Bandhana Khandana He. You make the khandan. Khandan means split. You cut it off. What do you cut it? The bondage, the bandhana, you cut off. First you said you make us cross over the ocean of samsara, and second line he says you cut off the bondage. What is that bondage? Ravi Nandana Bandhana, he says. Ravi Nandana Bandhana. What is Ravi Nandana Bandhana? Nandana means son. You know, my child. You call Nandan. So, Ravi Nandan. Ravi means Surya. Who is the son of Surya? This Yama Dharmaraja. The Yama, the Lord Yama, the Lord of death. He is the son of Lord Surya. So the Yama Dharma comes and binds us with his noose. And the noose is put upon us. And he takes us to the abode of death. And that noose, that connection is splits into, he cuts it off. That, hey Gurudeva, I'm doing Sharanagata. I take refuge at your feet. Kinkar, I am your servant. Kinkar means servant. There's one beautiful version they say, how this Kinkar word came. Kinkar means servant. So it says, the servant stands before the master, and in those days, when Sanskrit was the conversation language, he used to ask the master, Kim karomi, what I should do now, like that he comes. And then master gives him order, go and do this work, that work, etc. So he is asking King Karomi all the time. So he's called Kinkaraha. Like that they explain that in Sanskrit. So this Kinkar, I am your servant. Bhitamane, I am approaching you with fear of death, fear of birth. That is the biggest fear. Bhita. What is this bhaya? The biggest fear of all the humanity is the fear to face the death. If anyone can transcend that level of fear of death, he is almost a mukta purusha within when he is having the body. So that is the wonderful thing. The fear of death haunts every one of us, and none can escape that fear of death. As you are aging and aging and aging, the death is coming nearer to you. Like that we think. But death can come at any age. That also we have seen, is it not? We are all experienced in this world. It can come in child age, or youth age, or in the older age. Any age it may come. Till we think we are not going to die. That is the biggest surprise in the world. We think that we are not going to die. So we make all arrangements as if we are not going to die. But one day it is going to go away. Everything will go away. So the death is the biggest And with that Bhita Mane, with my mind fully fearful of the birth and death, I come to you. I take refuge at your feet. Hey Gurudev, Daya Karo, please give me your grace. Like that, this stotra, who all have got a diksha, must be recited, I should say, and understand the meaning and recite. You'll find the bhava that Devendra Nath had at that time when he wrote this, that bhava will catch us also. We will also feel at the time, we are also Dina Jana, we are also humble before the Lord. We are also taking refuge at his feet. And then the birth and death will be cut off by our Lord, so that we can have an eternal life. So this is what we learn from this wonderful household devotee, Devendra Nath Majumdar. So thank you everyone. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Now I hand over to Juma.
So Raji had one question at the beginning of the session. Raji, are you there? Would you like to ask something? Okay, so maybe the question got answered during the session. So Meera Kumar raised her hand. Meera? Meera just raised her hand. Are you there, Meera? Please, no. So anybody else has a question? Please feel free to ask. Abhishanda has. Okay, Abhishanda, go ahead.
Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj.
It can be.
মহারাজ আমি জানতে চাইছিলাম জানতে চাইছিলাম যে দেবেন্দ্রনাথ মজুমদার, যার কথা আমরা আজকে আলোচনা করলাম, তিনি ওই যে গানটা মাকে উনি কখনো দেখেননি, তাই ওই গানটা কি ওরই লেখা? এলো তোর দুষ্ট ছেলে তুষ্ট করে নে মা কোলে, মাকে দর্শনের জন্য এই গানটা কি উনি লিখেছিলেন? আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি ভুলে গিয়েছি।
আমিও এরকমই শুনেছি, কিন্তু if anybody knows better, they can have some input on that gun. Anybody has got any idea? You see, these type of incidents are in wonderful incidents are there in Bengali literature. Many things are not yet translated, you see. So outside the literature, we are unable to get all these things. But I have heard from our Swamis about this incident.
Not that.
Anyone else?
No. Abhishanda, if somebody comes to know of this, they can answer in the group as well. Right now, I don't think we have heard, but we're not too sure. We'll have to confirm and get back to you, Abhishanda.
No, I have heard that once it was a function in Balaram Basu's house, and he was, and mother was there, Holy Mother was there, and he had never seen physical form of Holy Mother, and he wrote this song on spot and sang with others, and at that day he got darshan. I don't know the details, but I have heard this story. So if anybody can tell me the details, then I will be very thankful. Thank you.
Because he was close to Sri Ramakrishna from 1884 onwards. So he used to go to Dakshineshwar and meet Sri Ramakrishna. It is now I'm not able to think that he would not have come to know about mother at all. Maybe that he has not seen her, that may be true. But he must have come to know about mother, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what Abhishanda was mentioning. Abhishanda, if I'm not mistaken, that he has not seen. He had known mother, but dakhen nahi aage. So maybe that's the thing. Malavika has a question. Malavika?
I'm sorry, Ji, I don't have a question, but I just thought because today is on Devendra Nath Majumdar, there was one section in the Gospel that I recently read, and there was one particular sentence mentioned by Sri Ma that I found extraordinary about these few sentences. So I just thought that all of us can probably enjoy. So,
yes, go ahead.
Permission, I will just read.
Yes.
ঠাকুর দেবের বাড়ি যাইতেছেন, দক্ষিণেশ্বরের দেবেন্দ্রকে একদিন বলিতেছিলেন, একদিন মনে করেছি তোমার বাড়িতে যাব। দেবেন্দ্র বলিয়াছিলেন, আমিও তাই বলবার জন্য আজ এসেছি, এই রবিবারে যেতে হবে। ঠাকুর বলিলেন, কিন্তু তোমার আয় কম, বেশি লোক বলো না, আর গাড়ি ভাড়া বড় বেশি। Then the following part, what interested me or intrigued me very much is this. দেবেন্দ্র হাসিয়া বলিয়াছিলেন, তা আয় কম হলেই বা ঋণং কৃত্বা ঘৃতং পিবেত, ধার করে ঘি খাওয়াই চাই। ঠাকুর এই কথা শুনিয়া হাসিতে লাগিলেন, হাসি আর থামে না। He was so pleased. That is what I just thought that all of us can enjoy. That,
yes, right, enjoyable. Yes, it's wonderful. Rinam Gritva Dhritam Pibet. Dhritam Pibet. So you take ghee, even by taking loan, and you drink or you take that ghee. That is what it says. Because it's so precious. Sri Ramakrishna's coming to his house is a precious thing. He wanted to tell him many times, but Sri Ramakrishna put it off, telling that you don't have much income. And when I go, a big battalion will go with me, and you have to feed everyone them, and you have to give that money for transport also. All these are costly, so not necessary. And that Ramchandra Datta was a leader in arranging this. He would bring some singers on the day, and so it was a big function. Like it all requires a lot of what you call expenses. So Sri Ramakrishna was very concerned. I really wonder at that passage, that how Sri Ramakrishna was aware of his financial condition and not to put him into trouble. He said, no, like that he was putting it off. That was a great compassion of a guru towards his disciple.
Is this the same English translation of this, Maharaj?
Read it.
Maharaj?
Read.
Is it the translation of this passage, Maharaj, in English?
Yes. That's what I'm explaining in English.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you. Nice.
Oh, Malavika, I think Sumita wants the page number. If you could please mention. Yeah.
I have to figure out the date probably. It's most likely it is 1885, 6th April.
Okay, so that's the date. If you could just type it over there, in the chat box. Thank you, Malavika. And Janet had raised her hand. Janet, do you have a question or something to discuss? I think she has.
Yes. I just want to know because I Bengali. I wanted to know the context because a couple of things have been said in Bengali and I really can't follow. Right? Sorry. So that's
Janet, you must have understood the context. In 1885.
Yes.
That was the year that Devendra Nath was talking to Sri Ramakrishna, and he is requesting Sri Ramakrishna. He was about to request. Sri Ramakrishna says, I want to go to visit your home. Then Devendra Nath says, I also wanted to request you to come to my home. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, you see, you don't have much income to spend.
Yes.
And it requires a lot of expenses, like that he says. At that time, that young who was standing there, he says this one proverb in Bengali. The proverb says, even if you have to incur debt, drink honey or drink ghee. So he says like that. So that is a proverb that has been used there. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yogendra Nath, yes, if you want to speak.
Maharaj, I just wanted to share that there is one more bhajan he has written. It is read in almost all mutts nowadays. Bhava Bhaya Banjana Purusha Niranjana. Ratipati Ganjana Kari. Yati Jana Ranjana Manomada Khandana Jai Bhav Bandana Hari.
Yes.
That is
Wonderful.
also written by him only.
Yes. So that's why the Archanalaya grew up in his time. That because people came, there were a lot of bhajan singers were there. They used to come and sing bhajans and say Ramakrishna. Very good. Thank you.
Maharaj, today is the birthday tithi of 7th President of Ramakrishna Morton Mission, Srimad Swami Sankarananda Ji Maharaj. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
I
Our
thought
pronouns to him, yes. Thank you for this input. Yes. Good thing that we learned. Yeah, a holy day that where we could discuss about Devendra Nath in this 1 hour satsang.
Maharaj, that Archanala is still there?
Exactly, I do not know because I have never gone there. So I don't have any idea whether it is still there or not. I will have to find out. Even before the class itself, this idea crossed my mind. If somebody asks, I thought, then I should be able to say that. But I'm sorry, I could not contact. The best person, to ask is Swami Vimalatmananji, who is in charge of the Yoga Dhyan Math. So he is very well aware of the history, etc. So I could have rung up and asked him whether Archanalaya is still there or who is conducting there, etc. I would definitely ask and then tell in the next class what is the situation there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. And it's 1 hour.
Another thing, just that the 10 antarayas you mentioned, can you just repeat them?
Oh, yes. You write there, Patanjali Yoga Sutra 1.30. So 1.30, Vyadi Sthana Sanshaya Pramada Alasya Avirati Prantir Darshana Labda Bhumikatva Anavastitatvani Chitta Vikshopaha Ete Antarayaha. Like that it comes.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's been an hour, Maharaj, so we'll have to.
Yes. Thank you then. Thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you.
Om
Pranam, Maharaj.
Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna. Durga Devi.
Pranam, Maharaj.
Namaste, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Pranam Maharaj, Vipul from Ranchi.
I am Radha.